All right, well, Father Keller told you a little bit, but I'm going to tell you how the garden came to be, just real briefly. A few years ago, I had a call in the office from a couple of guys wanting to take me to lunch, and they said they had an idea they wanted to talk to me about. So we met at a very safe location just down there at Catfish City, and it was Joe Barnett and Mike Cabello. And they told me that they had this dream that they wanted to build a memorial garden for the unborn. And I also had that dream. I wanted that to happen, and I wanted it to happen here because this was a beautiful piece of property behind the Life Center. So I brought them over here after lunch and showed them the property, and they said yes, they agreed it would be a great place. So that set the wheels in motion. But then, a few months after that, I got an email from a young woman who lived in Louisiana, and she was searching for the place where she had an abortion in 1979. She wanted to come back to the place where she had an abortion for closure and healing. She said, I want to come back to the place where I shed innocent blood. So I tried to help her to find out where that could have been, and it turned out that it was on Markham. But that building was gone. It was torn down, and I explained that to her in a later email, that building was no longer there, and she said it didn't matter if the building was gone. She wanted to come, and she did come. And so that, again, helped me to see that there was a need for a place for women who had abortions that were seeking reconciliation to go to find that healing. And so met with Father Keller and Joe, and got Joe, who is a designer and a sculptor, to, plan for this garden. And Father Keller, he financed it. He got some help from friends, but he built it. But I wanted to read to you what Joe said about the garden. He's not able to be here with us today, unfortunately. And is Mike Cabello here? I invited him. He's not here. Okay. Well, here's what Joe said. He said the memorial will incorporate the natural foliage on the property, including 5 trees that might not be much to look at, but pull the whole design together. The trees encircle a wire sculpture that he created out for Jesus' body, set in a circular water design with rocks, rock benches, and lights surrounding it. He said, even though it's so ordinary, the body of Jesus is made with wire I bought at Home Depot. But out of that comes something very beautiful. The water represents the healing pool of Bethesda mentioned in the Bible, because Bethesda has roots in the meaning shame and guilt, but also grace and mercy. The women who have come, who have had an abortion before, and they've come to the place to mourn their loss and pray, and going to those waters with that in mind just fits so perfect. He says, I've looked at the pictures of the pool of Bethesda, which had rocks hollowed out. I will add those so they can dip their hands in the water and experience the water. About that same time also, I was contacted by the Rachel Memorial Foundation, which is a national organization that sets about going and putting in national monuments at places where abortions took place. And they had called me to try to get statistics, because they were putting a memorial in Springdale, Arkansas, in Washington County, where, as you know, Dr. William Harrison did many thousands of abortions there. So they put up their very first memorial in Arkansas, in Springdale. So I got to talking with these ladies and told them about our plan to build a garden, and they said, we want to be a part of that. So they are a part of that. And that was the last thing that we added to the garden just recently, is the plaque right behind you that faces the abortion clinic. And it talks about the thousands and thousands of abortions that were performed, and, just remembering those children. So, there is a reason for this, and I always say it's a God thing, because God is the one that brought all this together. In 2015, we broke ground, and as I say, we've been through different phases. The future, I don't know what holds for the garden, because there's so many possibilities back here. Certainly we want to do landscaping, but that's going to take a while. If you feel inclined to support the garden with financial contributions or work, or just an interest in making sure that it continues on after Father Keller and I are gone, this is an important place. It's an important space for anyone dealing with the loss of life. And in a few minutes, you're going to hear from Carrie Jones, who is our speaker, and then later on from Bishop Anthony Taylor, who is behind me. He's going to do the official dedication. And then we'll have a song by Amanda Trice that's very powerful and speaks a lot about this. So, after today, please don't stay away. Come back to the garden. Bring your friends. Families can come here. Kids can play. Bring some fish food. And if you're real quiet, you might see some fish. There's lots in there. But it is a place for the public. It's a place for everyone, anyone that wants to enjoy this beautiful space. So I'm going to invite Carrie Jones up now so that she can share with you a little bit about her story and what the garden means to her.